What if I said some meals may outlast you? Your kids? Perhaps even your grandkids? While many of us worry when milk spoils after a week, the Amish have quietly perfected food preservation methods that not only compete with contemporary refrigeration, but also make it seem unneeded. These 15 tried-and-true techniques are survival gems modern preppers are rushing to rediscover, not only antiquated. Let us explore the first ones. Believe me, these are revolutionary. First, imagine discovering a jar of honey still absolutely edible inside a 3,000-year-old Egyptian tomb. Sounds like a fairy tale, no? That is accurate. The Amish have known for decades that honey is the most potent natural preservative of nature. Raw honey is a food storage necessity in Amish villages, not only for tea or bread. Their approach? Easy. Store raw, unfiltered honey in airtight glass jars and hide them away in cold, dark areas. No need for devices or power. Many people are unaware, however, that honey should never be kept in the fridge. Cold temperatures cause it to crystallize more quickly, transforming smooth, golden syrup into a rough disaster. To sustain that ideal pourable texture for decades, the Amish keep it between 55 degrees Fahrenheit and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. What if it even crystallizes? A soft, warm water bath revives it immediately. What therefore makes honey almost everlasting? Low in moisture, high in acidity, and with natural hydrogen peroxide, it creates a setting where bacteria just cannot survive. No mold, no deterioration, no hassle. And if you have ever sampled raw honey from an Amish farm stand, you know it is something unique. That deep, flowery taste surpasses anything from the plastic bear bottle at the supermarket. Furthermore, commercial honey is frequently pasteurized and filtered, removing those enzymes that promote health. As one Amish farmer put it, expiration dates don't concern us. The jar will break before the honey spoils second. Walk into an Amish pantry and you'll find shelf after shelf of dried beans, navy, pinto, black, all exquisitely preserved in glass jars resembling tiny jars of survival. Why do Amish people have such faith in beans? Simple. They don't require a freezer or sophisticated technology to be edible, endure for decades, and are loaded with protein. With their mild flavour, navy beans are ideal for stews. Once cooked, pintos become a lovely pink and really shine in casseroles. When fresh vegetables are long gone, black beans add colour and taste. Precision defines the preservation technique. Beans are dried completely, often outside on clean sheets in the summer sun, until they are bone dry. They are then placed in glass jars and sealed firmly. Never plastic, which can leak moisture. Some families even throw in oxygen absorbers to prevent oxidation, which can destroy beans with time. Stored correctly, dried beans can survive more than 30 years. One harvest may sustain a whole generation. Here is a clever Amish trick handed down over 5 generations. Include a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda in the soaking water. A major benefit if you're cooking with wood or propane, it speeds up bean softening and halves cooking time. The greatest part then? Unlike many preserved foods that lose nutrients with time, dried beans remain nutritionally strong, roughly 15 grams of protein per cup, even decades later. Number 3. In Amish country, the aroma of rotting cabbage indicates fall has come. Packed with shredded cabbage, enormous stoneware crocks lay in basements and barns slowly turning into sauerkraut. Though it's far more than just pickled cabbage, it could seem that way. Modern science is only beginning to grasp its health advantages, a probiotic powerhouse. The Amish approach is as follows. 5 pounds of finely shredded cabbage. Stir in precisely 3 teaspoons of salt, no more, no less. This draws out moisture and produces a natural brine where beneficial bacteria flourish and bad ones die off. Vinegar is absent. Lactobacillus bacteria turning cabbage carbohydrates into lactic acid produces that sharp taste naturally. It's nature at work. Depending on ambient temperature, the fermentation lasts 3 to 6 weeks. The kraut is kept in a cool, dark location in sterilized glass jars following that. No canning, no pasteurizing. This maintains the probiotics alive and the kraut healthy for more than 2 years. Many Amish families really claim that their sauerkraut tastes better in the second year. Making sauerkraut is a communal ritual, not only about food. Families come together, kids assist with shredding cabbage, and neighbours converse while filling crocks with goods. All in one, it's preservation, tradition, and togetherness. Unlike store-bought varieties that are frequently pasteurized and dead, Amish sauerkraut is a living food, brimming with gut-friendly bacteria helping digestion, strengthening immunity, and enhancing general health. Number 4. Amish root cellars hold more than simply potatoes. Glowing glass jars hold creamy turnips, ruby red beets, and orange carrots, each preserved not by canning but rather by fermentation. Here's a fascinating fact. A carrot doesn't drown but rather gets tasty when it sits underwater for months. Just like sauerkraut, the Amish ferment root vegetables. No vinegar, no boiling. Sliced or diced roots are jarred and salted with a saltwater brine. With time, the natural sugars become lactic acid, which preserves the vegetables and improves their taste. Even months later, this approach maintains them fresh, tangy, and healthy. Beets turn earthy and sour. Carrots develop a little sweet-sour bite. What about turnips? Lively, sharp, and crisp. These jars represent colour, texture, and taste in the centre of a drab winter. Not simply food. They also have the vitamins and fibre the body requires, as well as all the probiotic advantages of fermented meals. Number 5. Curious about a secret Amish recipe for preserving vegetables that remain excellent for months, without heat, vinegar, or refrigeration? Salt 2 tablespoons in every quart of water will do. That's all. Amish root vegetable fermentation is based on this straightforward recipe. Too little salt lets harmful microorganisms take control. Too much, and the beneficial bacteria cannot even begin. Passed down not by cookbooks, but rather via memory, it is a fragile balance. Wide-mouthed jars filled with carrots, beets, and turnips, totally submerged in this salty water. Bubbles develop during the following 1 to 3 weeks as natural bacteria start to work, turning boring roots into sharp, crisp superfoods. Modern science has lately verified this as well. Fermented beets have almost twice the accessible iron of fresh ones. Fermentation destroys the cell membranes, so breaking down nutrients and allowing your body to absorb them more easily. It also increases B vitamins and reveals buried minerals. But the temperature is important. Amish families depend on natural refrigeration, root cellars excavated into hillsides, which remain between 32 and 50 degrees Fahrenheit all year round. No power required. In fact, these small temperature changes over time enhance the taste more than store-bought brands could ever hope to. For the Amish, a bubbling jar of carrots is a statement, not only food. It's self-sufficiency, a link to the earth, and a legacy handed down from mother to daughter. Children even learn to look for visual signals, like the halting of bubbles, that indicate when fermentation is complete. Number 6. Every spring, sweet golden liquid starts running through buckets dangling on sugar maple trees. In Amish land, it's maple syrup season, a time of togetherness, celebration, and sticky fingers. Most people, however, fail to see that preserved properly, genuine maple syrup is almost ageless. Amish families have been doing it for decades as follows. They heat the syrup to precisely 180 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to kill bacteria, but mild enough to preserve all the taste. It is then poured into sterilized bottles while still heating. A natural vacuum seal develops as it cools. The outcome? A sweetener that doesn't spoil is shelf-stable. Interestingly, only 1 gallon of syrup may be produced from 40 gallons of sap. The high sugar level explains why germs have no hope. Amish families keep their unopened bottles in dark, cool pantries. Once opened, however, it's a different tale. Refrigeration is essential to maintain that golden quality. What if mold shows up? Not an issue. Simply reheating, skimming, and reusing the syrup in baking uses it. Everything is used. Syrup season is a community celebration, not only food manufacture. While the sap boils down, families come together to tap trees, feed evaporator fireplaces, and share meals. The first indication that winter is leaving and spring is finally here is that rising fragrant steam. Number 7. Modern people believe eggs spoil after a week or two. The Amish are more knowledgeable. Eggs may survive for months without a fridge with the correct care. In what way? It begins with knowing the egg itself. Freshly deposited eggs are covered with a natural coating known as the bloom. This unseen barrier prevents bacteria from entering the shell's thousands of pores. Preserving such natural protection, Amish families never wash their eggs until just before use. Daily collected eggs are stored in cold, dark pantries and handled delicately. This buy alone can extend freshness to 3 months. The Amish resort to pickling for extended storage. Some pickled eggs do turn pink, yeah, but don't be concerned. They're not blushing. They've only been beet pickled. Amish pickling brine is easy. 2 cups vinegar, 1 cup water, 2 teaspoons sugar, and 1 teaspoon salt. Soaking through the shell, this acidic combination preserves the egg from the inside out. With time, it changes taste and texture, converting every egg into a sour, chewy delicacy that remains in the fridge for months. Preserving the excess allows Amish households to eat eggs year-round, as hens lay the most in spring and summer, without artificial lighting, hormones, or shop runs. Number 8. Visit an Amish kitchen in summer and you'll see bundles of herbs dangling from the ceiling beams, like green chandeliers drying in the breeze. The corner lacks a humming dehydrator. Only time, air movement, and information handed down over years. The answer is this. Herbs are cut in the chill of morning, after the dew dries, but before the sun becomes hot enough to evaporate vital oils. This timing preserves the taste and therapeutic components. They are then hung in shaded, breezy areas tied with cotton rope. The air remains below 95 degrees Fahrenheit, hence keeping those valuable oils. No sun, no equipment, simply nature at work quietly. Dried herbs that are properly crushed release strong aroma and taste rather than turning to dust. Care to try it? Crush a leaf to test it. Should it crumble and smell strong, it's ready. Should it bend, let it hang a little longer. One Amish grandfather could name his whole plant collection blindfolded, just by smell. He once fed the family toothpaste spaghetti after mistaking mint for basil. They still find it amusing. Dark glass jars with oxygen absorbers help to keep herbs potent for up to 3 years. Cilantro and basil survive roughly 1 year. What about thyme, rosemary and oregano? Still going strong after 3 years. Though they may seem modest, these dried herbs in Amish households are all in one jar: memory, seasoning, and medicine. Number 9. Walk inside an Amish pantry, and you could be shocked to see shelves of mason jars packed with precisely cooked pieces of beef, chicken, or venison. Meats that remain safe and tasty for 3 years or more without a single watt of power. These are not leftovers. They are survival insurance sealed with precision and years of experience. This strong preservation technique is based on pressure canning. Unlike water bath canning, which is effective for high-acid foods like tomatoes and pickles, pressure canning reaches the high temperatures required to kill hazardous microorganisms like botulism. especially vital for low-acid goods like meat. Carefully chosen meat, trimmed and chopped into evenly sized pieces to provide consistent heating, begins the process. Amish cooks next gently pack the meat into fresh jars, giving roughly an inch of headspace to let safe expansion during processing. 1 teaspoon of salt per quart not only enhances taste, but also helps to pull moisture, so producing a self-made broth during the canning process that enhances the texture and flavour of the meat. Then, under pressure, canning at precisely 240 degrees Fahrenheit, 115 degrees Celsius, each jar is treated for the duration specified by the kind and size of meat. Timing is rigorous, and elevation changes are well known, so there is no guesswork. Though lacking Wi-Fi, these households have an unshakable internal database of food safety rules. The jars are meticulously examined to guarantee a correct vacuum seal after cooling. Often, Amish households take off the metal ring bands once jars have sealed, an ancient yet clever technique that stops food debris or moisture from becoming caught and ruining the seal later. The outcome? Protein that remains safe during outages, storms, and even severe winters is shelf-stable. A stew produced from pressure-canned beef tastes like it cooked all day. For fast dinners, canned chicken is fried or shredded into soups. Come hunting season, venison is kept in glass jars rather than the freezer, ready for a year-round supply of nutrient-rich meat. This method reflects Amish knowledge in an era of power-hungry gadgets and unstable food systems. Use what you have, believe in nature's rules, and don't rely on machines when a steady hand and a well-timed whistle from the pressure canner will do the work just fine. Many Amish pantries contain something really amazing. Rows of mason jars packed with delicate pieces of beef, chicken, and venison kept without refrigeration and ready to consume for up to 3 years. More than food, these jars are security, convenience, and tradition locked inside glass. What is the secret? A technique using particular equipment to heat jars to 240 degrees Fahrenheit, far hotter than boiling water, pressure canning. That's the magic quantity to kill hazardous microorganisms like botulism, which water bath canning cannot touch. The Amish take it seriously since it's science. The meat cooks and creates its own broth. No liquid is required. Cut into equal pieces, the meat is loosely packed in jars with precisely 1 inch of headspace. 1 quart of salt pulls out fluids and enhances taste. Monitored with accuracy, the jars go into a pressure canner for 90 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure. Some believe chicken is the most anxious meat to can as it's constantly under pressure. The most stressed bird may become soft, shelf-stable comfort food with the correct approach. Unlike many commercial canned meats packed with chemicals and preservatives, Amish-made meats taste pure and natural. Open a jar and inhale the aroma of a roast slowly cooking all day. The truth? 90 minutes, plus years of knowledge, was all it took. All year long, these jars turn into quick meals. Venison sandwiches without hours of cooking, beef stew on a winter night, chicken and dumplings in minutes. Long before frozen dinners or micro-rows, the Amish developed their own kind of fast food. Healthy, homemade, and power outage proof. Number 10. Should the Amish have one golden cooking rule, it would be to waste nothing. Nowhere is that more clear than in their attitude to bones. What others discard becomes liquid gold, nutrient-rich bone broth filling cupboards with flavour, medicine, and thrift. Slowly releasing nutrients, collagen, and profound taste chemicals, bones from livestock and wild game are boiled for 12 to 24 hours. The outcome is a broth so rich it becomes gelatinous in the refrigerator, genuine evidence of quality that few commercial broths can equal. This gradual extraction adds a large amount of protein as well as digestible calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus to every jar. Given that knowledge current science now supports, Amish households drink broth as a cure for joint pain or intestinal problems. Pressure canning is crucial to avoid botulism, as bone broth is low acid. Following rigorous safety procedures handed down through generations, Amish canners process pint jars for 25 minutes and quarts for 90 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure. Once, a pig, a chicken and a cow fought over who produced the finest broth. The cow said, "I'm the most mineral-rich." The chicken boasted, "I taste the best." And the pig simply smiled, "I'm obviously the most stock market friendly." Amish kitchens use broth as more than just a soup basis. It cooks rice, strengthens gravies, and even is sipped simple as a warming tonic. Honouring every component of the animal, it is a no-waste technique that extends nutrition far beyond the dinner table. Number 11. Lard was the preferred fat in American kitchens until vegetable oils dominated shop shelves. In Amish communities, it remains still, carefully rendered, preserved, and stored to survive for decades. Many people think of this as the bad, mysterious fat. Rather, it is clean, tasty, and very traditional. Properly rendered lard made from pasture-raised pigs has a high smoke point and a mellow flavour that contemporary oils cannot equal. Done correctly, it remains stable for 5 years or more without refrigeration. Fresh pork fat, diced and carefully cooked for almost 3 hours, starts the process. While impurities settle out, low heat melts the fat without burning it. Straining the melted lard through cheesecloth guarantees a clean, white product free from particles that can promote rancidity. Then, hot lard is placed into sterilised jars with 1 inch of headspace and pressure, canned for 90 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure. The same technique applied for meat. This eliminates any remaining bacteria and guarantees shelf stability. When someone says, "Pass the lard," and 3 others reach for it, you know you're in an Amish kitchen. Unlike fashionable sprays or luxury olive oils, this is a daily staple used in everything from fried chicken to biscuits. You might be surprised by lard's natural fat profile. About 50% monounsaturated fat, the same heart-healthy sort found in olive oil. Unlike many commercial shortenings, it has no trans fats. In baking, no one produces more soft pie dough or flakier crusts. But beyond diet, storing lard shows Amish values: respect for the animal, complete use of every part, and independence from industrial food systems. A family that produces its own cooking fat from pigs, they raised controls the quality and lessens dependence on store-bought alternatives. It's Amish-style food sovereignty. Number 12. Using a technique most contemporary chefs have never heard of, Amish households have been saving butter for years. Though we're accustomed to butter spoiling in the fridge after a few weeks, the Amish have found a way to keep it shelf-stable for years, with no refrigeration whatsoever. Often churned from the cream of their own cows, fresh butter starts this process. A thick pot slowly melts the butter, separating the water from the butterfat. Usually, that water is what makes butter deteriorate since it allows germs to flourish. Gently cooking the melted butter causes the water to evaporate, hence producing pure clarified butter. Hot sterilised jars are then filled with this clarified butter, using the correct amount of headspace to enable appropriate sealing. The shock, then, is treated in a boiling water bath for 60 minutes, far longer than most contemporary canners would expect rather than pressure canning. This prolonged period guarantees that the jars are tightly sealed and totally sterilised. Stored in a dark location below 75 degrees Fahrenheit and chilled, this preserved butter can survive as much as 3 years. It still performs great for baking, frying and cooking. I mentioned this to my city acquaintance who said, "That can't be true. My butter goes bad in the fridge after a month." I replied, "Your butter hasn't picked up the Amish secret of remaining cool under pressure," to her. Amish cooks use sight and smell not expiration dates, to determine whether the butter is still good. It's fine to go if it's obvious and smells clean. No cloudiness, no foul aroma. The taste gets deeper with time, more like ghee, the clarified butter used in Indian cuisine, which enriches baked products and provides a high smoke point ideal for frying. It's only one more approach the Amish use to maximise every component with patience, knowledge, and pragmatism. Number 13. Years without a fridge? That's cheese. Though it might seem miraculous, in Amish houses it's only another smart approach to conserve waste and extend the dairy season. Amish communities keep cheese in sealed jars that stay shelf-stable for up to 2 years. No fridge required, while most of us depend on refrigeration to keep cheese fresh for a few weeks. The method is very easy and quite useful, starting with strong, low-moisture cheeses like cheddar, Swiss or Colby, the method. Then, gradually heated, these are diced or grated for even melting. Stir in a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda per pound of cheese. This is crucial. It prevents the fat from separating and transforming the cheese into a greasy disaster. The cheese is placed into hot, sterilised jars with just enough headspace to facilitate sealing once melted smooth. The jars are then treated in a boiling water bath, 40 minutes for pints, a little more for quarts. The outcome is a smooth, spreadable cheese that acts like processed cheese but without the additives, preservatives, or unnatural colours. Heard about the cheese that attended an Amish preservation course? It only wanted to grow old without becoming mouldy. All it turned out to need was some heat and humility. In Amish families, this cheese is a godsend. Simple to melt, easy to store, and ideal for casseroles, sandwiches, or topping macaroni on a hectic day. This approach avoids waste during warm months when milk is abundant, but refrigeration is restricted. It offers fast meals in the winter when fresh dairy is not accessible. Cheese preservation reveals how the Amish completely control their food supply from cow to jar, without middleman and without dependence on store-bought convenience. It's about self-reliance, practicality, and not allowing anything go to waste. Number 14. Walk inside an Amish pantry in July, and you will probably see brilliant crisp rows of green beans crammed into quart jars, ready for winter dinners. Although many people freeze their veggies, the Amish choose canning for one straightforward reason: no power needed. Their food safety remains unaffected when the electricity goes out. Being a low-acid vegetable, a reality the Amish know well from years of experience, green beans are pressure canned rather than water bathed. For quarts, the jars run at 10 pounds of pressure for 25 minutes, so guaranteeing the destruction of any dangerous bacteria. Straight from the garden, no liquid is added. Rather, boiling water and a dash of salt are used to top the beans before sealing. Once kept, these jars are simple soup component or side dish. In minutes, green beans thrown with butter and onion can complete any dinner. For a hearty winter delicacy, some Amish chefs even fry them in bacon drippings. In an Amish kitchen, they claim, you don't inquire about dinner. Rather, you ask about jar contents. Number 15. Amish canning season relies heavily on whole, stewed, sauced and juiced tomatoes. Every late summer, kitchens fill with the aroma of simmering tomatoes as garden baskets become jars of crimson gold. Unlike many vegetables, tomatoes are high in acid, which makes them suitable for water bath canning. Many Amish families, however, still choose pressure canning for more shelf stability and peace of mind. To guarantee a safe pH level, whole-peeled tomatoes go into jars with some lemon juice or citric acid and then processed for 15 to 25 minutes, depending on the technique. From chili to spaghetti sauce to vegetable soup, these jars are used all year round in all kinds of dishes. In Amish households, the capacity to open a jar of tomatoes in February serves as a reminder that summer's labour still pays off in winter. One Amish joke says, "We don't count our tomatoes by the plant, we count them by the quart. Number 16th. Indeed, the Amish can have dessert. In Amish homes, homemade fruit pie fillings, apple, cherry, peach, blueberry, are a unique type of canned luxury. These are not only for pies. Spoon some over ice cream, pancakes, or combine into cobbler batter for a ready-made dessert. The fruit is simmered slowly with sugar, a little cornstarch or clear gel, a canning-safe thickening, and occasionally spices like nutmeg or cinnamon. Depending on the fruit and jar size, the mixture is poured hot into jars and water bath canned for 35 to 40 minutes. The outcome is lovely shelf-stable dessert components lasting more than a year. Some Amish families mark the lids with the name and date, and perhaps even the recipe it is intended for. It's like having grandma's pies waiting in a jar, ready to make at a moment's notice. These 16 Amish food preservation methods demonstrate how old-fashioned knowledge may surpass contemporary convenience. What seems like a shelf of jars in a quiet pantry is really the outcome of decades of trial, care, and practical knowledge. Every approach, whether it is fermenting vegetables, pressure canning meat, extracting fat, or preserving dairy, tells a narrative of self-sufficiency, respect for resources, and year-round nutrition. There is no waste. All is purposeful. Though the procedure could be drawn out, the rewards are a filled pantry, a better diet, and the profound joy of being ready. The Amish save tradition, community, and morals as well as food. Their method provides a way back to resiliency in a time when prices keep rising and food systems seem weak.